Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today I will be putting together Starlink, which I recently bought because I live in a place which has very shitty internet service. So I've heard many great things about Starlink. I don't agree with the man's politics per se, Elon Musk, but I've heard many great things about this product, so I will be putting it together while I politically rant in this video. Now, here's the thing. Into the video. When it comes to, I've made a lot of videos about American dating. I've made a lot of videos about modern dating, modern women, masculinism and stuff like that. And, my progression, from like red pill into like divine masculinity per se, essentially speaking. Now, I need to say this right now. I'm going to just move the camera a little. I need to say this when it comes to the United States of America. The United States of America is collapsing, guys. Like, America's fucking collapsing. Like, it's just seeing all the stuff that I'm seeing right now in this country, it is not looking good. It's not looking good at all. Like, just seriously, seeing politics, seeing the way it is, seeing the way how everything is in this country, it is devolving, it is degrading really quickly. Like, that's the thing. Like, people, you've probably seen some other videos of like independent creators out there saying the same thing. We're in the end of an empire. We're in a declining empire. We're in a waning empire. And I'm just going to say this to you right now. We are. We are. The United States is a decline. It is. Like, made in America no longer means like, oh, strong American Ford, muscle. That doesn't even mean it anymore. A lot of these American companies, culture, traditionally speaking, they are going the fuck overseas. They are going to Mexico. They are going to Vietnam. They are going to poor countries, way poorer countries, where they can exploit those people a lot more. So for the white people that are like, oh, these immigrants, illegal immigration, no, it was not illegal immigration. They did not steal your jobs. It was white people at the very top of the beck and call, at the helm of these corporations that took your jobs away. That's who it was. It was Alan Greenspan who ushered in neoliberalism. It was Henry Kissinger who fortified neoliberalism and neoconservatism into the Republican Party. That's who the fuck ruined your country. That is who stole your country. It's not women. It's not these modern women and feminists, these OnlyFans girls, these whores, these Insta whores. No, it wasn't them. They didn't steal your guys. They didn't steal your country. They didn't. They didn't. This is same with these red pillars. You got these rabid red pillars like Myron Gaines and shit. Just degrading women all day long. It was not fucking men. I'm sorry. It was not men. It was rich. But like, I'm sorry. Like, when feminists say like, oh, men are this, men are that, men have been in power, men are this. Have I been in power? Do I look like I'm in power? I mean, no, I'm not. I mean, essentially speaking, I wasn't born into a rich family. I wasn't born into these like aristocracies and stuff like that with wealth and everything. No, I wasn't. I'm an average. I come from a middle class American family that has been priced out of the American economy. That has been priced out of his own goddamn country. That's the truth. So it's like, no, men did not steal the country. Women did not steal. No, you have a bunch of old fucking assholes like Nancy Pelosi, like Chuck Schumer, like Donald Trump, like Henry Kissinger. Thank God he's, when he passed away, I had a smile on my face. For all the war crimes he committed, I had a smile on my face. But it's just like George Bush, like all these people, all these retired. Congress and Senate is literally. Congress and Senate literally is a massive fucking retirement home. That's literally what it is. It's a massive fucking retirement home. That's literally what Congress is. It's a massive retirement home. Like, seriously, like Dianne Feinstein, she was being wielded in. Like, we have people in Congress who have been in Congress since the 70s, for 50 years. That's a dictatorship. When you have sitting, like, no country has sitting members for that long. Unless if you're like a dictatorship or some shit like that. No country has like sitting politicians or states leaders or presidents or statesmen for that fucking long, or state ladies for that long. No country does, unless if you're a dictatorship. Not even Iran does. I mean, Iran got a new president after, you know, of what we know, essentially speaking. But, you know, Qasem Soleimani being killed by the CIA. But it's just, when it comes to the United States of America, it's like there was this one guy who came by. He was a water well repairman. He very nice guy. I mean, I love him. His name is Pete O'Connor. God bless him. But it's just like he's a Trumper, and he literally, like, we both disagreed and stuff like that, but we both, like, were civilly talking to each other. I was like, hey Pete, when was the last time do you think we've had a discussion when Americans have had like a kitchen politics discussion? Oh, I rarely, probably a long time ago, essentially speaking. And it's true. It's actually true, because it's like, when it comes to the United States of America, we've become so polarized. We've become so politicized. Like, you have people that won't even date someone if they disagree with one thing. Like, if they disagree with one thing, that's it. It's over. I'm never dating this person. Like, this is both men and women. Like, when you get to a country where it becomes that divisive, you know you're in trouble. You know shit is starting to hit the fan. So it's like, I did buy this house. I know I recently bought this house and everything like that. But essentially speaking, we're looking at just fixing the shit up via grants. And just that's it, literally. Because it's like, with everything that's happening in the United States of America, I mean, I'm meeting people. I'm like talking to people. I'm seeing videos every day. Every fucking day on TikTok or just Instagram of Americans literally saying, I'm so happy I left. I'm so glad I left. I'm so happy that, like, yeah, I know I have to rent. I know I have to rent in another country until I can actually afford a house. You know, it's not like FHA. It's not like as predatory as the United States. You know, because guess what? They're now starting to take people's houses via zombie loans. That's what they're calling them now. I mean, it's just, there's no winning. That's what a lot of people are seeing. So it's like, a lot of people are like, okay, yeah, I'm probably going to have to wait and save for about 2 years to get a house. But so what? So what? At least I have way more protections. So what? At least I will be okay when it comes to actually owning a house. At least I have a government that will actually give me stimulus in the midst of a pandemic. Whereas the United States of America, we just let our citizens starve, and we let children starve, essentially speaking. You know, and it's just, so many people are done with this country. Like, so many people are done. And it's like, there was an unspoken, I've been to Mexico. I ran away if you guys don't know, I will make a video. I will make a story. I ran away at 16 and a half years of age to Mexico to go to Puerto Vallarta with my hippie friends while we did shrooms together. It was fucking a blast. It was amazing. It was just like the 1960s out of a VW van. Like, it definitely gave like the Scooby-Doo aesthetic. But it's just, that's the thing. It's like, I remember I met this one person. I could tell he was part of like some, like, you know, criminal syndicate group, like within Mexico. And he admitted to me. He literally admitted this to me. Listen, like, he would say this to me. Americans, there used to be an unspoken rule within the cartel. He said this to me. Americans are off limits. You don't kidnap them. You don't touch them. You don't do nothing with them. You do nothing with them. That's basically how he said it to me. But now, with everything that's happening with Trump and this and all this shit that's happening and stirring up, and with BRICS and, you know, people standing up against America, that's no longer the case. Like, guys, like, you know, you probably heard, like, I've made some videos in the past about the passport bros. I mean, more Americans are being killed than ever before. Ever before. More Americans than ever are being kidnapped. Ever before. More Americans are being harassed by locals. Ever before. I'm sorry, like, Americans, I'm just going to say this right now. We have a notion to act very stupid when we go abroad. We have a notion to literally say, speak English to a Japanese person in their own country. We have a notion. People are finally standing up to Americans. People are not taking shit anymore from Americans. They're not. They are not. Some countries are literally putting travel increments on Americans now. Some countries, like Mexico, are kicking out retirees. They're kicking. You remember those Social Security retirees? Oh, I got my pension. I'm rich in Mexico. I'm going to kick this brown person out and gentrify his or her neighborhood and make him homeless in their country. Speak English, you know? Like, they're kicking them out. They are kicking them out now. They're gone. They're kicking them out. They're like, nope, we don't care if you own this property. We don't care if you're renting. You got 30 days, Mexico, consulate, immigration, visa, get the hell out. Get out of our country. Like, they're kicking. It's getting real. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I know I probably have to move this because I'm done with all these steps. I put it together, guys. Like, as you can see, it's all together. I just need to plug it into an outsource and put it outside where it's clear. I don't want to move this camera right now, so that's the only reason why. It would, and plus, I have to have the app to scan this and to basically, you know, set this thing up, essentially speaking. So, yeah, when it comes to, back to what I was saying originally, when it comes to Americans, you know, oh, never mess with Los Americanos, los gringos, you know, no, that's over. That's done. That's dying. That's, that is disappearing. That is no longer becoming a thing. Like, as men are stupidly going overseas, you know, for these women, for cheap, you know, Dollar General, dollar store box, you know, PUSSY, what, you know, can't say for YouTube. As men are going into these countries, they're just like, cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. I mean, it's not like the 80s anymore. It's not like the 80s anymore. It's not like, oh, I can just show up with a mushroom shirt, Tahoe house. Oh, yeah, he's definitely a gringo. He's definitely American. Don't mess with him. Don't mess with the envoy, you know. No, it's not like that anymore. It's not like that anymore. As soon as you get off the plane, it's like people are looking at you. People know you're American. People know you're British. Essentially speaking, people know you're Anglo-Saxon, and you are a money trap. Like, that's the thing. Like, you know, I'm not saying, like, everybody's bad in these countries, like, you know, like Latin America, Africa. No. I'm just saying, like, certain groups and certain criminal syndicates, they used to have a moral code. Don't ever touch American citizens. Ever. You know what happens. But seeing the United States, like, completely be, like, kicking Americans off the plank of the ship, basically having so much homelessness to the point where it looks like 2055 Blade Runner, essentially, when it's like a techno-dystopic nightmare. I mean, it's like, or Rollerball, when it's like a corporate world. You know, the whole world is like privatized and ran by corporation. It's like, a lot of these criminal syndicate groups, they see it as an open opportunity. It's like, wow, they don't care about Americans anymore. Wow, like, you know, they have this shit ton of homelessness. Like, you know, the embassies don't even care about these Americans anymore. Great. It's a free money racket, basically. Like, so it's happening, but it's like, I tell people all the time that are dual citizens, if they're Mexican Americans, Salvadorian Americans, Brazilian Americans, French American, Franco Americans, Italian Americans, you know what I'm saying, Chinese American. I tell dual citizens all the time who are going to their original country for the first time. I tell them this all the time. Leave your goddamn American passport at home. I'm sorry, it is not a flex anymore. It is not a flex, seriously. Being an American citizen is not a flex anymore. Like, a lot of people, I've seen this on TikTok, I've seen this on Instagram. Being an American today is literally, like, American-born citizens actually feel disgusted that they're American citizens now. They do. They feel disgusted because they know of the history. They know of 2003, the illegal invasion of Iraq. They know about all this shit that we've been doing, that we still do today when it comes to Ukraine, when it comes to pillaging Gaza. Like, it's not looking good. Like, seriously. Like, I mean, especially ever since BRICS became a thing. Guys, like, that whole era of, like, oh, I'm an American. He's an American citizen. No, that's done. That shit is done. That shit is over. We're moving to a multipolar world. China is rising. Russia is rising once they kick these Ukrainian NATO people off the face of the earth. Like, I mean, the neo Nazis, Azov and shit. And I mean, again, like, can you believe it? We're funding a neo Nazi group in Ukraine to go against the Russian insurgency. I mean, it's just this is why the world hates us. But it's just when it comes to back to what I was saying. Like, this is why, again, like I said, China, Russia, India, Brazil. Brazil is rising. They just voted for De Silva. The global South is rising. I mean, Africa is rising. I mean, guys, the hegemony is over. The Western hegemony is done. It's over. It is over. I mean, the Western hegemony has ruled for a whole millennia. For 1,000 years, it's been white, Western, Anglo-Saxon, or just European countries. It's been France, it's been Britain, it's been, Britain with the East India Trade Company. It's been Dutch with Royal Dutch Company, Rotterdam, the Rotterdam family. It's been French. It's been Portuguese. It's coming to a close. We are finally moving into a multipolar world. And it's scaring the living daylights out of a lot of people who are like pro-West or pro-America and stuff like that, because they know time is running out. All the shit that we've been doing to them, they're now doing to us. Life is about to get infinitely harder in the United States of America. I mean, guys, Saudi Arabia, they just let the Saudi American petrodollar expire. Literally. It's over. It is done. It is over. The empire is coming to a close. I'm sorry, you can't save this place. I mean, I'm sorry, you look at men, today's men are fucking cowardly. Today's women are just, the men are cowards, the women are just sheep. They're just, the women, both men and women have had their root chakras and their third eye pineal gland and chakras hijacked. They have been hijacked by the system. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. We're in a recession now. No matter how much people want to say, oh, the economy's so great and this and that. Oh, vote for Trump, vote for, the patriotic Americans that say, we can save America, this and that. I'm sorry. Like, you're not saving this country. You're not saving this country. Same with Democrats. Oh, we can have a progressive change. We can regulate corporations. That's never going to happen. I'm sorry. The apathy in this country, the greed in this country, the selfishness within the United States of America is what will lead to America's demise. The very thing that Americans have paraded feverishly forever, individualism, hyper-individualism, will be the downfall of this country. Because there is no sense of community in this country. Barely. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, this and that. People laugh at you. Like, seriously, it's like, this like one right-wing dude, he was like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. He was like, you're just another, you're just another brownie who just wants to, brownie beaner, he wanted to like throw some racial shit in for me. You're just another brownie beaner who wants welfare points and socialist points. Like, I'm like, dude, if you said something like that in Spain, you'd be fucking laughed out of the room. You'd be laughed out of the room. Like, seriously. Like, people laugh at Americans. People laugh at Americans who hang the flag. They do. It's like, people don't even hang their flag like that in Russia. And Russia is like feverishly patriotic. Feverishly, especially under Putin. Russians don't even hang their fucking, like, that's the thing. It's like, if something is wrong with this country, it's like Americans is like, we're still the greatest in the world. Yeah, Jack, we have the largest penal colony on the face of the earth in all of human civilization. Guys, we have a larger prison inmate penal colony rate than during Mao Zedong's rule, than during Joseph Stalin of the gulags, like, more than fucking the Nazis. We have a higher penal colony rate. Ever. The fact, and people say like, oh, land of the free, home of the brave. I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here. Home of the brave, my ass. It's like, one of my friends, let me tell you something. One of my friends who I had the fucking, I had to facilitate a psychedelic session for him. Because here's the thing. He went off, he did the dumb shit and decided to go off into 2003 Iraq. He's 20 years older than me. He decided to go off to Iraq at 20 years of age so he can get college paid for. This man saw shit that it just, babies, heads, heart, you just, I can't say it for YouTube. I just can't, it's, that shit would be playing in his head again. Every time there was like a balloon pop, he would see like a child. Like, just, like, oh my God. Like, I had to do 2 psychedelic sessions with that dude. I had to facilitate 2 sessions with him. Like, just to... And he's finally doing better. He's finally doing better. He got off of his opiate addiction, which he had for 8 years, literally. Because, guess what? And you want to know the irony of this? Hey, VA, Veterans Administration, I need help. My knee was just shot at. My knee just got shot out. This man took a fucking bullet to his knee, his right knee. Like, not in the cartilage area, but right in there, basically. So, his cartilage is good. He's able to walk and stuff like that. But he was having some phantom pain. Really bad pain. They prescribed him Oxycontin. And that's the thing. It's like the VA said this time, your disability is no longer service-related. Literally, kick them off. The VA calls you up when it comes to suicide. Hey, how are you doing? Like, seriously, I've talked, I'm friends with veterans. Like, hey, how are you doing? Are you feeling this, that? Hey, yeah, I'm fine, whatever. Okay, great, I'll call back in 2 weeks, bye. That's it. They don't even care. The VA doesn't care. None of these people care. Like, I know people that are just going into the military on reserve duty. So that's how 2 days out of the month, it's called reserve duty. You have to serve 2 or 3 days and getting paid $2,000. That's it. Their contract is for six or 7 years, depending, I think, on what branch in the Marine Corps. But people are not joining the military. That's why it's like a lot of these like old, pasty, people in power, essentially speaking. That's why they're thinking about, maybe we should pass a draft. Maybe we should make it mandatory. Maybe men are useful for something. It's like, trust me, this is why you're seeing like all the thirst traps of like hot women, just like, look at my titties. Join the American military. Be a man. You want to be with a woman? Like, this is why you're seeing all this shit happening. Like, you're seeing these thirst traps of, like, OnlyFans girls. Just, like, the IDF, like that, essentially speaking. And it's like, men are seeing through it. Men are no longer buying the lies. Men are no longer buying the lies. And women are now starting to wake up to the realization that corporate America doesn't give a fine fuck about them. I'm sorry. I know it sounds... I'm fucking pissed. I'm really pissed. I am. I'm definitely pissed because it's like... Wow. Wow, we've been fucking bamboozled. Wow, this country... Oh my God. Fucking hell. I almost just... This is why people take drugs. I'm gonna end this video now. It's just, but guys, this is literally why people take drugs. This is literally why people relapse. This is why, let me tell you, the last thing I go is this. The liquor store will always be open. Liquor stores will never face a recession. Can I actually tell you this right now? Liquor stores and drugs, illegal, like narcotics and shit like that, they make the most money when a recession or an economic depression happens. This all goes back into capitalism. This all goes back into imperialism. That you are fucking miserable because of capitalism. You are fucking miserable because of free trade policies that have ruined this country, that have gutted the Midwest and have taken union jobs and sent them overseas to go pay these people 98 cents less than what they would even pay you. please send this to a Trump supporter. Send this to a Trump supporter. Send this to a Biden supporter. Send this to fucking people who are still within the political game. Because I'm just going to say this to you right now. Like, immigrants did not steal your jobs. Women did not contribute to the collapse of this empire. Men did not contribute, like, oh, it's men's fault. You know, men are just the enemy and the predator. No, like, I'm sorry. The people at the very top who make $1 million a year or more within state government houses and positions in Congress and the legislation branch, they are the ones who ruined this country. They are the ones who ruined Europe, Western Europe and Northern Europe. They ruined your country. These are the people that stole your country. This is what they don't want me saying. And if I get an FBI person or someone from the CIA knocking on my door because, oh, you know, you've been saying radical communist stuff, I'm gonna just say this right now. If me supporting universal health care is communist, I guess I'm a communist. If me supporting universal health, if me supporting regulations when it comes to Glass-Steagall so we don't have a fucking economic catastrophe every 8 years in a boom-bust cycle, to where we just the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, I guess I'm a communist. I guess I'm a radical. Like, seriously. Like, Americans, you guys need to wake the hell up. Because it's not the immigrants. The immigrants are actually fucking feeding you right now. They're the reason, actually, you're the reason why, like, immigrants are the reason why Americans are fat. Immigrants are the reason why Americans waste more food. Because here's the thing, without immigrants, there would be a lack of food. I mean, let's be real. You Americans would never fucking work in the farms. You guys would never work in the farms. You guys would not get up at 5 a.m. in the morning and do what fucking Pedro or fucking Carlos or Roberto would do in those farm fields. You guys would not do that. Because you guys are too comfortable in the beaming hot sun. Immigrants feed America. Immigrants nourish America. So it actually is not immigrants that are the problem. Immigrants pay taxes, even while not even being citizens, undocumented immigrants. They pay taxes. They will literally pay taxes while not receiving barely any of a benefit. Like, seriously, it's just... Again, please share this video to people, because it's like...